Welcome to Amazingly Designs. Today we're going to show you how to create a baby shower invitation using Canva. Now, Canva has a free version and it also has Pro and it also has Teams. We currently have the Teams version, but you don't have to use Pro or Teams. You can do everything we're going to show you using the free version with Canva. Now, when you open Canva, whether you're using the website or the app, it will automatically open like this. And to start off, you will go to Create Design. And it will give you a list of the different techniques and designs that you can do. Now, you can do a custom size, or you can use one of the sizes that they already have. So for this example, we're just going to automatically use invitation to the size that they already have. So for this baby shower invitation, we're going to go with the theme of Bumblebee. Now let's say you don't know of the theme you want to do. They have different templates here for you to get an idea from on your Canva listing on design. Now you can use these same techniques whether you're doing a baby shower, a bridal shower, a birthday, a wedding. The same technique that we're using today will work for any of these invitations. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our background. So we're going to go to Elements, and as I said, we're going to do a bumblebee theme for the baby shower invitation. So let's start with we're going to do a honeycomb theme for the background. And so as you see, it comes out graphics, photos, videos. So we're going to do graphics, and you get a list of graphics. So the ones that show a crown or Pro, you don't have to use them. If you don't have Pro, it will show Canva across your design. Now, as you can see, there are tons of free ones here, like this one's free and this one's free. You don't have anything without the crown you are able to use without having to pay for it. So for this design, we're going to use this free one right here. Now, as you can see, it just pops it on our invitation. To make it our whole background, we are going to right click on the object and do Set Image as Background. Okay, if you want to change the color of this shade of yellow, you can go to Edit Photo, and once it opens, you can select Filters. Now, you get tons of different ones where it's natural, warm, cool, vivid, and so forth. It is up to you. You can even change the whole color itself. It is up to you on how you want to do it. So if we're going and we decide we don't want it that color, we want it the brighter yellow, we can change it and have it this brighter yellow. Now we're going to do the part where we put our information for the baby shower. So now we're going to go back to Elements, and we want to look at the shapes. And so we're going to go to different shapes down here. And if there's a shape that you do not like, you can go back to Elements and you can put in any kind of thing. You can put in invitation and it shows you different pictures. Now let's say you want to do a diagonal rectangle. It gives you different ones. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go back to, we're going to look at they also have different frames in case you wanted to put a picture of the mom to be or couple to be. We're going to go and we're going to do shapes. So we're going to look at their shapes that they have here, and we are going to choose this one. Now, you don't have to keep the shape the same color. It can be any color you want. So we're just going to resize this here and make it semi of the whole thing, or semi in the middle. So as you can see, the pink lines show up. That is the smart mapping. It shows you when you're in the center of the top and the bottom and side to side. So we're going to change the color of this to black. And you can play around with this and make it more up and down, side to side. Now keep in mind, the pink lines will continue to show up. Next, let's say we want to add some bumblebees. We go back to Elements and we're going to type in bumblebee. And as you can see, there's graphics. I recommend using graphics over photos because photos are just like pictures. Graphics, it gives a more feel to it. Now let's say you want to, so we're going to go with, you have different choices. So let's go with this one. And you can make it smaller. We're going to make it a little bit smaller so that way it can just be hanging off right here. And then you can always flip it. You can always change the position of it, whether if once we add text, if you want it to come to the front or the back, it's up to you. So we're going to use that one for now. And I think we're going to put one, I'm going to put one at the bottom down here as well. But I am going to flip it to where it's the other way. And as you can see, it makes sure it's centered. So now let's add some text to our invitation. You're going to go to text. Now you can just select one of these text here, whether it's a subheading or the body, or you can use one of these texts they have here. So although these have words, you're not going to have to worry about them not allowing you to change it. So for instance, let's say we use this one. Although it comes up as these words, you can double click inside and you can take it away. And you can type what you want in there. So for this, we're going to put a sweet little bee. And we're going to make, and we're on this part down here, we're going to say is on the way. Now, as you can see, both of these are grouped together. Now, let's say we want to ungroup them. We are going to go up here into where our toolbar is, and we are going to decide that, you know, it has arrange and layers. And as you can see, it's overlapping. And then we're also going to go to, there's transparency, there's copy style, lock position. So we are going to right click and we're going to do ungroup. As you can see, now I can move, if I click off, I can move each section by themselves without it even having to move together. So we're going to make this part smaller. That way we can make it more center at the top. And up here you have your font, your size. You can change the text color. So and it'll show you what colors that you have in your photo. So let's say you want to use a certain color that's already in there. It literally tells you based off of here. So you don't have to go search for them yourself. So let's say we wanted to use yellow, or the lighter yellow, the blue that's in the wings, the orange, the brown. It doesn't matter. You can play with it as long as you want. So for now, we're going to leave this white, and we're going to change the size of this, just so that we can make this a little bit at the top. And we're going to, for that time, we're going to move the B over there, and we might come back and we might change the B we're using. As the more we go along, you can play with it. So for this, I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to double click, and I'm going to change this to one of these yellows. And you don't have to keep this the same font size. You can always change it. Now, Canva comes with its own fonts that it allows you to have. You don't have to download any of them. You can. I already have a whole bunch downloaded, but Canva does come with a lot of free ones. As you can see, the ones that have stars or crowns are also ones that's just for pro and above. But there are a lot that does not have that. So you can just play along with it and just see which one you like the best to go with your design. So I'm just going to look around and just try and see, you know, click on different ones. So you can just get the feel of what you want. It has both cursive, block, bold. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of fonts for you to choose from. So I'm going to use this one here for that part. I'm going to move this B over here really quick. And as you can see, you still get your things to show you when it's centered. And I'm going to move this right there. So right now we just have the basis of our invitation. And you can continue adding more. So let's say we have a sweet little bees on the way. So now we want to let them know, hey, come join us. So for this version, we're going to do our own. We're going to select this, and it's going to say add a subheading. And you can just type, and it automatically starts in Canva Sans font. It doesn't have to stay there. You can always change it. So we're going to put, please join us for, and A, and then we're going to move this up. That way it can be center. As you can see, the pink line comes back. That way it can be a little bit centered with the rest of our stuff. And we're going to change the color. This time we're going to do a blue, just so it can be semi-colorful. And we're going to change the font. We're going to find a font that goes with it, but it's not overpowering the rest of the information. And I'm just going to look and see if I can find a font that I like. Now, sometimes it takes a little bit to find the font that you exactly want to go with your theme. And these don't all have to be the same font in the category. So as soon as I find a font to put this in, I'm going to show you how to change the font for your other one. So let's see. I'm just going to scroll down, see if I can find a bold one that I like, that's not too big. You can just keep clicking through. That's all. So just going to find one for that. And you just can keep clicking through until you find the one you like. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use the font we already have for the one above. I'm just going to do Sanchez. And then I might change this one to bold. So for instance here, you can double click any word that you want. So let's say I decided I want A to be Sanchez. Well, it changes the whole thing. And let's say you don't want that. So you want to separate and you want to do your own. So the way to do that would be you would have to move this text box and add another text box so it can be separate. Because it picks up on the wording as a whole and not just one. However, you can change certain colors inside of here. They all don't have to be the same color. For instance, as you can see, I just changed B to the yellow. You don't have to change them all to be the same color. They can be separate colors. And so over here, we're going to just leave that yellow. I'm going to change this one. And I'm going to change this to bold. And I'm going to do that right there. Now, let's say you decide, okay, I want a different one. So I'm also going to change this to this one as well. I'm going to change this back to white just because it's more aesthetically pleasing for me, that I think it needs to all be the same color. And so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that way that stands out. Okay, and now we're going to add our information. We're going to change this to something where it's not as big but still simple, so we're going to do that. And now we're going to continue on with our invitation. And as I say, if you don't have an idea that you want to do, you can use any of these. So next we're going to do the baby shower part. We're going to add a text box, and as you can see, it added it right below the other one. And we're going to put baby shower. Now we're going to make this one bigger so that way it can stand out. And then we're going to change the font on this as well. And you just go back over here and you look for a font that you like. And I'm going to make this over here so that way this can be bigger. And I'm going to change this color again to white. I didn't really like the blue one, so I'm going to change that. And then I might end up changing this right here to white. That way we can do like this. Yes, so I'm going to change that to white. That way we can use different colors on the invitation. So, as you can see, you can play around until you figure out which one you like, which is better, and it might take some time. So now we're going to add the rest of the part. And so for this, I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to put a random name. So if this is your name, I'm going to put Amanda. And as you can see, it goes to that color. So let's say you don't want it that color. You want it to be one of the other colors that we have on here. As previously stated, you can change it to any one of these colors. It doesn't have to be that color. And I'm going to copy this one. So you can do Control C, or you can go up here and click copy, or you can right click and click copy. And I'm going to paste it right here below. And I'm going to change this to say honoring. And then I will make that smaller. That way it won't be too big. And we're going to just change this to about this size. And we can leave that color for now. We might go back and change it later on. Now let's say you wanted to do something different for the bottom. And you need to put the information, but you want to make it different. So you can create lines. For instance, we're going to go back over to elements, and it will always have what you previously looked at before. And we're going to go back to see all. It's going to be shapes and lines. And we want to separate our dates and our locations and everything. So we're going to put a line. And if you want to turn your line, you can. You just use this circle arrow going around, and you can move it whichever direction you want. Now, we're going to do it like that, so that way we can have the dates. And as most baby showers are, they're usually on a Saturday. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do this one, and we're going to move it down here, and we're going to rotate it. That way, let's say you want your date on the side, and we're going to double click, and we're going to type in Saturday. Now, I want to keep my fonts similar to what's already in there, so I'm going to use this one, and then I'm going to make it bigger. Let's make it this one, and then we're just going to use this and move it over. And as you can see, it tells us when it's in the center of both. And then now we're going to add our day. So we're going to do it simple. We want to add. So for instance, if we were going to go with this week, we do Saturday would be the 15th. So we're going to do an add text box. We're going to put in 15, and we're going to move it down here. And then we're going to make it bigger just so we can see it. And we can always go back and change the size afterwards, or you can drag and do this and change the size. And now we want to change that font so it can stand out. So let's see. We're going to look and see what our options are, and it will give you different. The more you scroll, the more that populates. And we're going to do. Let's see. What does this look like? No. There's a few here. As I said, it takes some time to determine which one you want. So you could do one like that, which isn't bad. I might come back to that one just because I like the way that looks. Or so I think I'm going to do that one. And we're going to come back up here and we're going to change the color of it again. And this time we're going to do, we'll keep around the, you can just use the same ones. Okay, and now we have Saturday the 15th. Now we just need to add our month in there. And so we're just going to use one of our fonts up here, and we're going to copy it, and we're going to move down, and we are going to put APR. So you don't have to put the whole month if you know the month that you're in. You can just put that month abbreviation to save you space on your invitation. Now we're going to make this smaller. As you see, we don't need all of that. And we're going to move it over to the side. That way it won't be too close. And then you can move this up as soon as you finish. Let's say you want to move it up. You can highlight, you can click every single one of these items that you have, and you can shift them up, or you can group it. For this purpose, we're not going to group it because we're going to add stuff to the other side. So now that we have our date of our invitation, we're going to put the time and a location. So we're just going to put some information here. So we'll do 11 to 1. And although it starts off big because it's basing off the invitation from, it's basing it off of the font from the other one size, we just make it smaller, and then we're going to move it to over here. Now we just need to put our address. So for this, because there's no certain address we're going to use for this right here, we're going to put it's on XYZ Street, and we're going to also say that it's located in Dallas, Texas, and put in a zip code that's in Dallas. And then we're going to move it right here to where it's centered with the time and with the rest of the invitation. So because this is light, we're going to change this. And let's say you don't want any of these colors, or you want a different color than what you have here. You can click the plus, and let's say you like this color, but you want to make it darker. You can just slide it here, right here, and it will make it darker as you're going along. Now, all you need is the RSVP at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add another line. And this time, we're going to put it across the bottom to separate our information from the bottom, from the top, and our information at the bottom. So we're going to move this down to about right here, and we're going to stretch it across. And we are going to, you can move it until it's straight when you do it. And so, like, as far as right here. Now you just put your RSVP information at the bottom, and we're just going to put RSVP Amazingly Designs by XYZ. So that's when you put your date. And we're going to put by April 11th is what we're going to put. And we're going to make this smaller. That way we can see the whole thing on our invitation. And we're going to also change the color to black. Now, as you can see, we have our date, what it is, and who we're honoring, and everything. Now, you know, some people have where they put where you can buy gifts from. For this invitation, we're not going to do that, but you always can have more room. You can make, if you need more room, you can make your shape bigger. Now, we're going to go look at the bees to see what other different bees that they have. And we're going to go back and we're going to type in bumblebee. and we're just going to do see all, and we're going to see which ones that they have up here. Now, for this version, I used only free that they offer. So I think for right now, we're going to leave it as it is. It blends in a little bit with the background, but it's fine because once you print them, you won't have any issues. You'll be able to see it. So there are a few different ways that you may print your invitation or any design on Canva. You can go up to print invitations, and it'll give you the options, and you will be able to see what your invitation will look like prior to. So if we open it, as you can see, this is what our invitation would look like if we were to have Canva printed. Now, you say front page, and you get to pick how many, if you want to include envelopes. So for this instance, you have to do a minimum of, one, but I would suggest the more you order, of course, the less each one costs. And they do get invitations. It comes directly to you. There are no taxes. Now, you do also have the option, which Canva allows you to download it. You can select share, and you can download the invitation, and you can take it to any Staples, Office Max, Office Depot, any office supply store, and you can select download. What I would select for here would be PDF print, and that's because it allows you to get the best when they're printing, and you can go put it on any kind of cardstock, paper, any kind that you would like, and it will come out just the same as if you were getting it printed directly from Canva. This concludes our video on how to create an invitation. Once again, we did a 5x7. You can do any size you want. If there is a video